Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Big
My
D.
name is Neil Rule. That guy over there, four-time Stanley Cup champion, two-time show host this week alone. He is Darren McCarty. Happy to have y'all with us here today. You know we got Sawyer. You know we got Sam. You know who the usual cast of characters are. And we're certainly happy to have you guys, too. If you want to tap in on our YouTube channel, we have that chat link going all the time. Anytime you want to get involved. Anything you want to talk about, too. You know, go ahead and fire away. We'll be talking about that stuff all show long. Our social media handles are on the screen. If you're listening on radio, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Don't forget about the podcast page. Also on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the Big D Energy. All right, we got all that stuff handled right now. Detroit Dabber 313 carries on his usual tradition. The first one in the chat thread. What up, Doe? So happy to have you all with us. What's going on, D-Mac?
That's all good. Happy Tuesday before Snowmageddon. I don't know if we're going to get 10, 20, 30 inches or something, but I guess it's coming. So everybody, we're not new here in Michigan. So everybody be safe, get your salt, get prepared, stock up. I heard that might not just be toilet paper going right now. Get to your Kroger or Meijer or wherever you shop. And
I went last night because...
You're not even going to be here.
Oh, well, I know,
you
but
are unbelievable. It reminds me. So I said to my wife last night, I said, oh, yeah. She says, oh, how's being back? And so I said, great. But Neil's, what's going on? And say, oh, I get to, Easy's going to work. Oh, yeah, okay, and stuff like this. Where's Neil going? And I said, oh, he's got basketball and stuff. And she says to me, she says, oh, so it's Hurricane Neil. Because she calls me Hurricane Darren, because every time we lived in Florida and there's a hurricane, I was up here. So yeah, you're smarter than most.
I'm telling you, though, for real, it always goes down like that, where when we leave on a road trip or whatever, there's always some kind of snowstorm. I mean, always, it seems like at least once a season where I leave like the day before it happens. And I actually had to move up. I'm flying down to Cincinnati. Originally, I was flying down to Cincinnati. We played Northern Kentucky and Wright State. Big road trip. 9-1 in Horizon League play in first place. So they're all big.
Grizz. Go Grizz.
They're
Shout
all
out to
big.
Coach Campy.
So I originally was going to fly out after the show tomorrow, but obviously we know how things are going to go, so I had to bump that flight up to today. So I have to bounce out of here after and go to the airport and do all that stuff. But every single time, it seems like every season it happens. Do you remember when we had that bad one in November, like early November? Like 2 years ago, I was in Miami for that one, and it got stuck in Miami.
You know what? So we got to look, ladies and gentlemen, look at the Oakland Grizzlies schedule. Look when Neil's not going to be in town. So but you know what? I want you to know, right? You're going to have a great show today, and then you're going to be gone, and Uncle Darren and the boys, we got this.
Yeah, I know.
We got this. We're already scheming. So tomorrow it'll be me and Easy on the desk and Sawyer, and we got some things planned, because I got some questions. Because here's the one thing I brought up to Sawyer, Neil, is that our perspective, because we're pretty much the same age, friends a lot. Terry sits here. We have this sort of history in this city, right? So the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever like this, and being diehard fans. I sort of want to know, and it sort of leads into a couple of dates that are coming up, maybe March 26th or something like that. But with the young kids who, as Sawyer, what did you say to me? It's the ones who are only a legend? Or how did you phrase that?
When you hear about that day, it's kind of like legend for us, since we weren't born or around for it to see it. So all you hear is the story.
It's crazy to hear somebody say that.
But you know what I mean? It really is. But the reality is that's where we're at. And so, we're gonna deep dive a little bit more into culture in this city and about what the kids have to look forward to, because they've heard the stories, but there's so many of them now, and I realize that. and it sort of clicked in, because now all the 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, have kids, have families. They're not 10 years old anymore. It means a little bit more to them, and it just, in the bigger picture, I look at in the bigger sports and living picture here in Michigan. So we're going to get into that. You will be missed, though.
No, and speaking of that, I guess it's as good a time as any to kind of bring this up. Was going to talk about it tomorrow, but we're planning some things going up to that anniversary of the March 26th game against Colorado. And one of the things that we're actually looking for, if you follow Big D Energy on Twitter, if you do, if you don't already, please do. And we're looking for videos. We want to know where you guys all were. I mean, everybody, from the kids to the adults to everything in between. Because on that day, we're looking to do a special show where it's pretty much going to exclusively be that March 26th game in Colorado against the Avalanche, and we'll do deep dives into different things. And we want to know where everybody was. So if you could reach out, like maybe make a 15-second video, 20-second video, let us know where you were, kind of tell us your attachment to it, and send that to our Twitter page at Big D Energy on Twitter.
And it's important, too, even if you weren't born or even if you were too young to remember, but how did you get into it, or what is the story? We all have different perspective. I always say I know where I was, and I always tell everybody I didn't realize that Joe Louis Arena had 100,000 capacity like Michigan Stadium by all the people that, I was there. But no, but what we remember. And I love that. I know where I was for a lot of these events. I want to know where you were,
right,
or how you got into it, because a lot of it too is, like, for us, Neil, is where did our fandom start with these teams?
Right.
Sometimes we're directed through family. Sometimes it's because, a lot of time for me, my Piston fandom that would be my least favorite of the sports, because I didn't grow up playing and whatever else, but I became a Pistons fan because of being Detroit and everything Detroit. So and I appreciated that, because I was a Pistons fan when they ended up winning, and they were the bad boys, and then they would go to work and stuff like that. So we all have that connection.
Yeah, so if you could send those to our Twitter, we'll collect those, and we'll play some of those throughout the show. It's going to be a big extravaganza of that show. I'm excited to do it. I think I have a lot of questions that I'll ask D-Mac that I think he's never really been asked before about it.
I guess that's what I'm looking for. I mean, just cover it out. And Sawyer, do you have those, just as we're talking about it, but those two statues that were sort of created?
Yeah, I can grab them from my Google Drive real quick. Cool. I cleared them out yesterday.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for different perspective or questions and stuff like this to break it down, because I go back through it and look at the storyline and look at how it played out. And I always, when I tell everybody, I could not have written a better script, making me the star of that game. So it's just karma. You look at this, I'm showing you, I came across this online. I think it's Old Time Hockey or whatever like this, which is great. They've created this. I want to get one, but I have a limited edition right here coming out that I created. That's the prototype of it. So there's an evolution of it, but it's got the nameplate on the front so that I can sign it or personalize it and stuff like this. But so there's a couple special things coming out around March 26th to pay attention to. If you want to check that out or pre-order, go to Mess Bucket Comics. So it's an exciting time. I can't believe it's 25 years.
Yeah. So, again, that's down the road. We're looking towards that, but we want to get you guys involved with it, too, because you guys are involved every single day. I mean, this is as much your show as it is ours. Jake Wegener on our YouTube chat thread. Snooty Neal getting stuck in Miami and prolonged from coming back to the freezing cold temperatures. LOL. I'm sorry. That's the way it works.
Listen, and we know
my wife said the same thing. She said, oh yeah, it's really hard stuck in Miami.
Well, I would just advise you, maybe next time, don't FaceTime her when she's outside dealing with the snow and the kids in your flip-flops with your cocktail in your hand, your gypsy vodka. Don't be doing that poolside.
Yeah,
bad marriage.
I wish I had that one
There's
back.
D-Mac's marriage advice. He even knows not to do dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we'll be looking to everybody as well. You can also email them to Sawyer as well, Sawyer@woodwardsports.com. That might even be a better way. So yeah, just take your phone out, little selfie video. Tell us where you were, what you had going on. Tell us your thoughts on it as well. Email that to Sawyer@woodwardsports.com. We'll be collecting all those. And I know it's a long way out, but it gives you a lot of time to think about what you want to say.
There's a lot of time to tell your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. D-Mac, but speaking of that, I thought about you yesterday when I came across this little gem, and I wondered because, you're a man of the people, and I forget which website this was that these are available on. So I have to ask you, D-Mac, are you the kind of guy that would rock the Stafford half Lions, half Rams jersey that you can get for $79.99 that are on back order until March? Would you rock that?
When I was a kid, if it was a Rick Tocchet Pittsburgh Philly jersey, absolutely. Right? It all depends on who it is.
Rick Tocchet only played for the Flyers, D-Mac, in my mind. Only played for the Flyers.
But he won cups in the Pittsburgh.
I know.
So there you go.
But he was Rick Tocchet for the
captain
Flyers.
of the Fly. That's where that's the young Darren McCarty wanted to be Rick Tocchet. So here's the thing with the Stafford issue all along. I said it all along. He was here. You don't know the personal investment somebody has to a player, right? So somebody who would wear that jersey, right, is somebody that's been a huge Matt Stafford fan and the fandom for the player. It's like the basketball, right? In basketball, it's okay to cheer for one player, right? It's because it's an individual league. They focus on their individual players. So why not in football? I would not probably wear that one, but if a Lance, hey, you know what? Lance Parrish is playing in the playoffs for Pittsburgh or something like this, and in half Tiger, if I had that emotional connection to an athlete, I would in a second, because I don't give a flying whatever anybody thinks. And for somebody who has that connection, because this is the closest, I saw the tweet. Did you see the tweet yesterday? Stafford, quarterback in the Rams, and Eminem doing the halftime shows the closest he's going to get to the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't, not that one. But I get why other people would, and I don't hold anything against them, because here's the thing. You don't know what people have invested in their time, in their life to that person. And at the end of the day, what makes them choose an athlete more? Is it they're off the field or they're on the field? I know you don't want athletes to raise your kids,
right,
and you care about production, but that's you, right? For me, I'm happy for Matt Stafford. He wasn't able to do it here, but I'm not going to wear the jersey. But I respect people who choose to wear whatever they want. Cheer what you want, love what you want, do whatever you want. But there'll be how many? So here it is. Do you think it'll be noticeable around that? Like maybe even at the Super Bowl or something that you'll be able to see some of those jerseys?
It won't be noticeable.
You think it's just a caveat?
No, it won't be noticeable.
Okay.
I think I did send. My apologies, Sawyer. I think I might have sent you the wrong link there, because that one was the half road, half home one. I think that one's on me. I think I sent you the wrong link. Where I had a couple of them pulled up. There are half Lions, half Rams jerseys out there, so that's my bad.
Okay, yeah, that was the link I clicked was that one, but I mean, not bad.
Yeah,
I'd go for Peyton Manning, half Colts, half Broncos.
See, I would do that.
I'd rock
See,
that.
there's the thing. I got one of my Warren Sapp, my Ben Wallace, my Jeff Bagwell, and my Peyton Manning, game worn signed jerseys. I would do that. I would have wore a Peyton. Yeah. So yes, when it comes to that, I would have wore a Broncos. Now, is that more acceptable because I live in Detroit and it's outside? Like, is this more acceptable for somebody who's a Matt Stafford fan that isn't from Detroit or isn't a Lions fan?
I don't know. I'm not putting rules and regulations. I'm not
what
going
Neil
that
is
far,
saying,
man.
guys, is he's done with this conversation. He doesn't care anymore. He would
care
not
to
wear
I didn't
the
care to
jersey.
start. Yeah.
Would you ever wear that jersey?
Oh God, no.
Sawyer, would you ever? But you'd wear the Manning or the Manning one, right?
Oh yeah, I probably wouldn't wear that one. I'd wear the Manning one. But I was gonna say, Neil texted me yesterday when he sent this, and he goes, "Would you get a Wentz one, half Eagles, half Colts?" I'm like, get out of here.
Do you think a Philadelphia fan would wear a half Eagles, half Colts? They had a chance to get in the playoffs.
If they maybe like win a conference or division, I could maybe see it.
No way anybody in Philadelphia would ever do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here,
They boo Santa Claus, bro. They're not going to wear a Wentz half Eagles, half Colts jersey.
Maybe they'd buy one and burn it.
Maybe
if he won a Super Bowl
what? Though,
there.
I take that back. Maybe they will in the draft if they draft because they have like 100 picks in a row in the first round.
They basically own the Colts now, so
so maybe they will.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that? By the way, you're locked in, and you guys are locked into what you have.
Yeah. No, it still hurts. Every day I wake up, look in the mirror, and kind of see that like clown makeup come on my face, but It's whatever. We'll battle through.
And then he goes, well, it could be worse. I could be a Lions fan. But he's too nice to say it.
Yeah. So, I thought about you, certainly with the Carson Wentz thing. I thought about you too, D-Mac. I'm just giving people a
No,
hard
I mean,
time.
if
because I'm smart. I've been told
you're
I was
right,
smart.
though, because there'd be something that I'm not against. It's wearing it, right? Out of anybody here, I would probably be the one being the homer to wear it the most, right? But I still wouldn't wear it, if that makes sense.
No, I got you. I guess you could do the Peyton Manning one, half Colts. The other Broncos half would have to have dirt stains and grass stains on it from being dragged across the goal line by the defense, right?
Oh yeah, it would make it cool though if you could get it signed. The Colts one signed by him when he played for the Colts.
It's
and then
crazy
the Broncos
that it's
one
football.
signed
It's
by
a team
him
sport,
when he
eh?
played there. But
It's crazy. It's a team
definitely
sport. You got to
grasp
win
it.
as a team. It's not like Nadal had to do it by himself.
Come on, D-Mac, that doesn't fit my narrative. You know that.
I
One
know.
thing that does fit my narrative, though, right here, Planet Fitness fits my narrative. Home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Yeah, regular membership available right now, $0 down. That's right, $0.0 down. $10 a month. That is it. Also, a black card available, $22.99 a month. Gives you access to everything. Over 2,000 locations across the world. The body enhancement, the massage chairs, all of it. Planet Fitness. Again, they have all their little stuff here that you talk about. A lot like the Gypsy thing with me, guys. That's where I go every single morning on my way here to Woodward Sports. That's where I go. I get it in. The staff there is awesome. The place is clean. All the equipment's great. I really, really enjoy, personally, really enjoy working out at
Do you know
Planet
why?
Fitness.
Because
Why
your
is that?
fitness is essential.
My fitness
Neil, your
is
fitness
essential,
is
Darren.
essential at Planet Fitness.
No, you're absolutely right. So, again, you can join in club. You can join online if you prefer that, www.planetfitness.com. Now open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Remember, Planet Fitness, hiring for all positions. You want to work in the fitness industry? There you go, planetfitness.com. Your fitness is essential.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here from the Planet Fitness Studios, Detroit Dabber 313. No Neil polls lately. I trust everything's been smooth sailing at home as of late. Until now, until this snowstorm rolls
Well, you got
through
the
and I'm not
furnace
there.
there. At least you're not that savage. You got the furnace fixed. They're up in the downstairs before he left town.
Rack says, dang, Neil using my comment, not giving me credit. I guess he is above us all. That's the way this stuff works. Once you put it out there, that's it. There's no new ideas anymore, Rack. My apologies to you, my friend. I'm sorry. If I can remember which one it was, I'll go back and I'll give you full credit, of course. Happy to have everybody with us. So we got to talk about this, Michigan fans. We do, because I always use my little group of 5 buddies from high school that I kind of bounce everything back and forth off of.
And out of those 5 buddies, how many of them would you say, is any of them like diehard Wolverine fans?
They all lean Michigan.
Okay.
So, I got the one.
But they're sensible, right? Like they are. Like for the whole, there's the common sense. So you don't have one that is way off in right field, way off in left field.
They're all around the same.
So it's a conversation.
My buddy that I've talked about before, that's a terminal Lions fan, which he'll enter the discussion a little bit later on with one of the Super Bowl topics we have. He's more like pro Michigan. Like he roots for Michigan. He'll root for Michigan State when they play each other. Yeah, when they play each other,
Is he
leans
Canadian?
Michigan. No, he's not.
Oh, he should be. He should be.
No, he's not. But that's kind of where they are. And so I asked them, and a lot of times the topics I talk about are kind of byproducts of the conversations that we had. So we're going to put it up on the poll right now. This whole Jim Harbaugh discussion, he's got an interview scheduled with Minnesota tomorrow, flying out there. National Signing Day for the Wolverines tomorrow, right? I mean, it's really, really pointing to he's going to take this job with Minnesota if it's offered. So I want everyone to draw it out right now. Where do you stand? And Sawyer's got the poll. Do you want Jim Harbaugh to stay, or do you want him to go to the NFL? That's pretty much it. It's very cut and dry, very baseline. And I think there are almost a degree of the Stafford discussion to this Harbaugh discussion, because I think it's unique in that both sides have a case to be right. The pro-Harbaugh crowd has a case to be right because they just cashed it in. They finally beat Ohio State. They won the Big Ten. They went to the college football playoff. The anti-Stafford, or I'm even tricked into talking about already. The anti-Harbaugh crowd, they have a case to be right too. How sustainable is this? Can you keep this going? Why did it take so long to get here? D-Mac, are you pressing the khakis right now? Like, where do you stand on that?
I think if you're a Michigan fan, you just want to know what's going on. Like, make a decision already. If you're coming back, come back, right? Where it's not like we don't want him back. It's a lot. I don't know if it's a whole 180 from last year, where it was like he's looking to stay by giving away back salary, and he's got almost begged to stay. Now it's like, so okay, he proved it, he did it, but I think even what we talked about with Terry yesterday is it's almost like you're in a conundrum because you're going to have to face Ohio State, and can you build them? But you really, in the back of your mind, can you win a national championship? Can you get over the hump? And if your reality, your self-awareness, looking in the mirror is a no, why would you not go to the NFL? And you look at the connections, right? So what's the connection in Minnesota? Well, when Harbaugh was in San Fran, the GM there was an analytics person there, whatever. So there's a relationship there. So then that why makes sense why he would get the interview. Honestly, if you're me, I hope he leaves, right? I hope he leaves.
Really? Why is that?
I just think he's a better NFL coach.
And that's fair. Very fair.
I think he's a better NFL coach. And you know what? I just don't. I don't know. It's just why hasn't something? Then I question myself. Why hasn't something been done by now? Whatever it is, it's almost like no. It's almost like, are you going to take him? No. Do you want him back? Are you going to take him? It's in this ether, right? It's not the same to Stafford because Stafford was wanted. Right, and there's a return on it. Instead of, it wasn't let's trade Stafford or whatever, let's go get the best deal that we could, which was supposed to be, although you set the Rams up. So it'll be interesting. Do I think he's going to leave? No, because I think if somebody really wanted him, they would have had him by now, right? This would have already been done. So it's one of those things that'll be interesting. What term of a contract, but it's one of these things that every year, if he comes back, this question will be out there. Every year, every offseason, after every Black Monday, we'll be going through this. So,
what about this angle,
let me vote. I'm going to vote.
Yeah, you vote. What about this angle, though? Adam in our YouTube chat thread says, I think he would have left a month ago. If he leaves in February, it would be a 100% blank move. And what about that too? Because I'll tell you, D-Mac, I've never seen it like this before. Because usually they move before the bowl, which obviously he wasn't going to do that. And the timing of the NFL openings and all that stuff.
Well, here's the whole thing, right? Mel Tucker got his bag. Bags started getting handed out. Brian Kelly goes LSU. All that different stuff like this. Weren't we? I remember sitting here waiting to hear, okay, what's Harbaugh going to get? What's Harbaugh's bag? What's Harbaugh's bag? There's no bag. And they're waiting.
The contract's out there to him.
And so I don't know. It's one of these things is there something better? He doesn't want it. So one of the things why I would like him to move on too, because I think that he's not 100% at Michigan after last year. Like, you know what I mean? It's maybe in his mind he's accomplished it and it's time to go back. So, but I don't know if they want him, right? What Minnesota's doing the most due diligent coaching search in the history of coaching searches, right? Aren't they? Like, they're interviewing everybody. They've interviewed like 20 candidates. They're out there interviewing the Rams assistant coaches. So I mean, I just think because I don't think he's 100% there. Like last year, I felt, and I talked about it from day one, even when Joink was saying that it's different coming out of Michigan behind the scenes. It was quiet, right? It wasn't the regular who's got it better than us or whatever. It was more quiet. He was committed. I just think that, I don't know if he was 100 last year, is he 80 or 90 this year? You know what I'm saying? I just don't think he's all the way there. And then what proves that is because this is lingering on. And now it's lingering on. Isn't signing day tomorrow? You know, like
yes. It's gonna be awkward.
So what I'm saying is now where we thought this would all be done and worked out, now you're dealing with, well, it's signing day. What about recruits? What about recruiting? All this other stuff, let alone so he's doing, the longer this goes, the more of a disservice he's doing to the university. He's not doing a disservice to any NFL team, right? He's just doing a disservice to the Michigan fans. And I believe, I'm like, I don't care if he comes back or not, but he needs to make a decision to be fair to the fan base and to the kids.
But what happened to the took a pay cut?
Well,
what happened to the and I've noticed that the fans have turned right now. It was a month and a half ago, and so you probably remember this. What happened to he took a pay cut and gave it to the employees who lost out on money with COVID? What a great guy he is. I mean, that just goes to show you what a class individual he is. How did that change in 6 weeks, like people's view of it?
Yeah, just because he's talking about leaving probably. And he beat Ohio State, goes to the college football playoff. Everybody's like, oh boy, he's back. Like, we're going to lock him up, big deal. And now he's talking about going to the NFL. I mean, I feel like some real diehard Michigan fans, that'd make me a little mad. But, I don't really have a dog in this fight. I enjoyed him on the 49ers. I like him in the NFL, so I'd be happy if he goes. I'd be happy if he stays, whatever he does.
Pistons fan 11 says, so he's going to be underpaid and at a recruiting disadvantage and have limited chances to go back to the NFL. He's going to leave. Rich Diana says, Harbaugh knows he hit the peak in college not being in the SEC. He wants a championship from somewhere. Cody says, Jim can't say he would coach for free, then be leveraging the NFL for higher pay at Michigan. Jim just knows his run at Michigan has peaked, and he might not be able to repeat it. And that's, I guess.
I think that's the case. I mean, if I'm sitting here, I think of what you saw last year was more of a unicorn than it is a consistency. Because I think the consistency we're going to see is coming out of state.
What about this? This is interesting, too. Ryan's reaction. I don't want Harbaugh in the NFC North. And I never even thought about that angle. I hadn't gotten that far yet. That's a great point. Because you can't deny the resume in the NFL. Now, for me, you don't want him in NFC North because you don't want to face him? Yeah,
because you respect him as a coach?
100%.
And I think that's where it is. I respect him more as an NFL coach than I do as a college coach.
And that's kind of my point, too. Like, that dude's a killer in the NFL. You don't believe me? Look at the win-loss record. Now, did he run his course in San Francisco? I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's what you keep hearing from people that you talk to.
So here, let me bring this back around to the Stafford-Harbaugh comparison, right? Because that's sort of 7 years, right? Is it 7 years that Harbaugh's been here? 2014, 7 years ago and stuff like that. Again, Jim Harbaugh and Matt Stafford aren't the same people that they were. Right? So has he learned something? Does he feel that the way that he was able to bring this Michigan team together, that he can learn from maybe the things that he wants to correct from the first time around? Because he did wear out his welcome in San Francisco and stuff like that. So is he ready for this, sort of resurgence? That's how I would compare them, that they've learned from some of their mistakes, or have they? So he's playing hardball. Harbaugh's playing hardball with the university, and I think like any fan, is just because of the signing day, because of what it was said, how it could mess everything up, recruiting and stuff like this, to get the guy, that it's important that something's done. Either way, I'm not really worried about him in Minnesota. He's still got Kirk Cousins.
Well, our YouTube chat poll that's going on right now, I want you guys to take a second and click on that, because I'm curious to see where everybody's at. What do you want Jim Harbaugh to do? Stay at U of M, leave for the NFL? Leave for the NFL right now. 53% of the vote. Dom Rivera in a YouTube chat thread says, is there an I don't care option? And for some of you, that might be the play as well. Just like if it were a Friday night and you're looking for something new to do, what would be the play for them on a Friday night, Sawyer?
Oh, the play is always the Fulling Warehouse, Neil. I mean, you got to show up, big old warehouse, easy to find right in Hamtramck, so many lanes to play on. I mean, it gets real busy, though, I'm not going to lie. It's a popular place to be. But that's why the private reservation comes in handy, $120. You can just rent it, show up, get your time slot. You can do corporate events, team bonding events. I mean, you guys know the deal. Did the Christmas party there. It was a great time. We're going to plan more events there in the future. Maybe get a BDE foaling event out there. Get some of you guys out there. Just have a good time, meet everybody, do some foaling, drink some mystery beers.
Just get hitters out of that mystery beer vending machine.
I was just about to go
there. We will wear
there.
that thing out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we should make it a goal to run through a whole mystery machine and just see what kind of mystery is inside.
Listen, I got some singles from back in the day that I didn't use. I'll bring them for you guys.
A brick of them?
Brick of them, yeah.
But I mean, it's straight hitters
Don't
every
be
time.
telling on me.
That'll be on stop later in the night, D-Mac.
Well, we'll see how many of the brick we'll get through, and then we'll have to go get rid of the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's other foaling warehouse locations, too, so if we use up their mystery machine, we can probably go find another one.
Oh,
so
they
it'll
all
work out.
empty the mystery machine.
Yeah, maybe
game.
see which mystery machine has a little more mystery to it, you know? See what else we can pull. But, I mean, it's great. And if you don't want to do the mystery machine, over 100 beers, so it sounds like a lot. You're just a kid in a candy store if you don't want to do the mystery machine. That's why I like doing it. It makes your decision for you. It just comes at you. Life comes at you fast. But you got to show up. You can show up, bring your own food. You can Uber Eats in, bring a little picnic basket, bring a little blanket, have a good time, bring some finger food or something, watch some football. We got the Super Bowl coming. What a way to have a Super Bowl party, right?
Tell them about the horn.
If only you can
Tell them
do a
about the
private
horn.
reservation. Oh, and if you hit that, you know, you guys have gone bowling before, 10 pins, that fifth pin right in the middle, the ever-elusive pin, you can never single that out on a bowling alley and hit that. But in foaling, you can. If you knock down that pin and that pin only, you get a plunk, and they have a train horn on the main bar. And without telling anybody, you can walk over there and just pull that train horn and just scare the living life out of everybody in the foaling warehouse.
Over-under is 5
it's a party.
on
I haven't had the honor to do it
pants.
yet. I'm trying, so.
Attaboy.
I mean, it's a great time. All you guys got to do is go to thefoalingwarehouse.com. Again, that's thefoalingwarehouse.com, or just show up in person, the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. We got Neil here. We got D-Mac on the desk. We got Sam in the audio booth sounding crispy for us. And I'm over here just keeping us live. We'll be right back.
Everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Take it up to the top, may the party never stop. Make it loud, make it real, let them know that we're here with everybody. Yeah, everybody, yeah.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Oh, Sawyer's a fool for that one, man. Did you make that, or did you pull that from somewhere?
No, I made that this morning.
You made that one
yeah.
with the Harbaugh
just found
heads
it,
on it?
cut his head
well
out, put it together.
Well done, man. Well done. That was pretty good. You're talking Jim Harbaugh right now. We have the YouTube chat poll going right now. What do you want Harbaugh to do? Go to the NFL or stay at Michigan? So those are the two choices there. I'm curious to keep an eye on that and see where you guys fit, because it's telling to me, D-Mac, and you brought this one up too. Cody Engel says, could Jim leaving with the possibility of more changes and things as a result of the Dr. Anderson case? And I don't think that to be true. But these are the types of things that begin to get discussed when you go down this road. And here's kind of my take on it, D-Mac, is the contract's on the table at Michigan for Harbaugh. So he's going through the process right now. You can't take an NFL job if it's not offered to you, right? I mean, we've never, none of us have ever taken a job that wasn't offered to us. You never signed a contract for a team that wasn't offered to you. This is the time frame of how it's working right now. And I think that the Michigan deal right now is, if things don't work out, he doesn't hear what he wants to hear, he doesn't like the direction that maybe a franchise is going that's talking to him, he just one day pops back in, signs that deal, and says, "What's the problem, everybody? Like, what's everybody talking about?"
Well,
Coach at Michigan.
Here's the whole thing. I get that because the conversation out of Michigan the whole time, right? Whether it's
he was upfront about it, though. I'll give him credit.
But at the Michigan, the university was up front. We're going to allow him.
Right.
Explore your options like this. My thing is tomorrow's signing day. You're going in.
God,
what do
it's
you
gonna
tell?
be awkward.
If we're not to forget Jim Harbaugh, whatever he does, that's one individual. What about the team? What are you telling these new kids? Like you said, if it's not offered, and the NFL can wait as long as they want. Wait through the Super Bowl. A lot of stuff is done this week, next week. I just don't know what the communication is to the guys on the team, to the Cade McNamara's, the J.J. McCarthy's, your leaders on your team that are supposed to be coming back. Do they know? Because at the end of the day, Neil, I think you're right. The contract at Michigan is a safety net, but it's the respect when it's sort of like, okay, go ahead, explore your options or whatever, but that's underwritten to come back in a timely fashion. To me, I think it's pressing the issue, which tells me that it's that lack of respect and lack of being all in to the cause. That's why I think he's only 80% into Michigan. He wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's where, for me, the damage is done too going forward. Say he does come back now, but at the same time, I'll give him credit because he was upfront about it. And what do people ask for? Like,
Transparency.
what do we clamor for?
Transparency.
Just be honest.
Just
about
be
it.
honest, and he was, and I think that's why it's not a bigger deal than it is. But as we get closer to the Super Bowl, as we hear different kids committing to different programs, there's got to wait till that one kid commits somewhere else and we wonder, why didn't we get him? Oh, it's Jim Hart. You know what I'm saying? Those conversations will come. So I think it's just the time frame. To me, it's the time frame that it's not done yet, right? Because, Neil, my question is, if he's your guy as an NFL owner or GM, you go out and you get those guys. You look what the Raiders just did. They just went out there and did the Pats thing with their assistant GM, and Josh McDaniel gets his 4th try as a head coach in the NFL. So teams know what they want. I don't think that he's wanted, or else it would have been done.
Lions Rumble says Dan Campbell would wipe his nose with Jim Harbaugh. That would be intensity. You'll like this one, Sam. AC says, Sam said the Chiefs would destroy the Bengals. Never forget. That was just randomly put in there. Sam, I just want you to know this is an educational thing. When you say something into that microphone, it's out there, and you got to be prepared to wear it.
Oh, well, I mean, just for the record, not that it matters. They were on the path to doing it, but no.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I know. Trust me, I am still in the Patrick Mahomes depression. On Tuesday, it hasn't gotten any better, and I cannot defend what happened in the second half, and I'm not even going to try.
You see, that's where... That's where, in retrospect, you should have said, take the Chiefs on that first half line. They're going to pound them. They'll destroy them. And at the half, you'll already have your money. See, that's a free, no charge for that piece of advice right there. That's a veteran move right there.
Well, you know what? Sam's learning.
He is.
Sam is learning.
I am learning.
But I like the way he takes his humble pie, right? He calls it like it is, and that's all you want. Now we move on. Which, Sam, do you think that this in the long run has an effect on the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, or do you think that they can get back and get things right?
That's a tough one because not even just that game, 4 straight AFC championships, 2 Super Bowl appearances and a win. That's a lot. That wears a team out. And with Patrick Mahomes making big money, they might not be able to keep all their players. And
I was reading a story about that from the website Spotrac. They have the ability to kick the can down the road for a couple years with his deal. So what they can do is sign him to a, quote, extension, change that salary into a signing bonus so it gets stretched out. Like you can kick the can down the road for a couple of years. But then, I mean, it's like when you go out and party one night. Like, say you go out on a golf trip or whatever, and you go out all day and you have your fun, then you go out to the bar that night and you have your fun. Then the next morning you wake up and the bill is due. And you got 2 choices. Like, you can deal with it and take the appropriate measures and take your Motrin or whatever, or you can get back on the horse. Now, the next day it's going to be double.
Yeah.
Like, you kicked the can down the road. What you did is you took that day's salary, you rolled it into a signing bonus and stretched it out over 2 days. But that salary cap's coming due the next day, and it's going to be twice as bad. That's exactly what that is like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. And I'm also worried about, as a Patrick Mahomes super fan, the AFC is going to be tough. So many young quarterbacks. But I still think Kansas City will enter next season as the favorite in the AFC West, and nobody would be surprised if they got back to the Super Bowl next year.
AC says at least Sam admitted he was wrong, unlike Adam Schefter. So.
Oh, yeah. I always admit when I'm wrong. New evidence makes me change my opinion, and that's just how I am.
There you are, exactly.
So I love you, Sam.
Yeah, but Tom Brady has, in fact, retired. We'll talk about that, though, in just a couple of minutes, talking about the Jim Harbaugh situation.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that any of this is a power play by Jim to the university for the NIL and to get into the transfer portal and to do things that they haven't done to spend more money or maybe change it at the top? Is there anything in there come across your mind?
I don't know, because maybe that's a battle he can't win. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just, got people bringing it up and stuff like that. And
you know what's funny, though, D-Mac? In the past, when I've taken heat, when I've been critical of Michigan, when they weren't winning games and stuff like that, you know what's funny? What was the one constant message that I had through all that? Michigan is not all in.
No, they're not. And that's
the way.
How can you expect your coach to be all in if you're not all in? When you're supposed to be the leaders and the best. And the whole thing is we don't even know if they can challenge the SEC because they haven't thrown all their chips on the table and gone out and done what's needed to be done that next level, like what Alabama, what Georgia, what Clemson, what these teams do. That
right.
that might be something to it, where he realizes it's a battle he can't win. So here's the thing. If you're Jim Harbaugh, you look in the mirror and you realize you're in a holding pattern and you've just, to beat Ohio State is going to be your national championship every year because it just doesn't matter. You're not getting any younger, right? It's a little bit easier in the show, right? Things are done a little bit differently. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Put that all into the stew and stir it up.
And stir it all up. That's pretty good. No, but I mean, I think every minute that goes by, I'll tell you this, and I don't know if this is available on my bookie or not. I haven't heard. I just heard people talk about it in passing. Harbaugh's actually minus 200 to be the next coach of the Dolphins.
That's what Stephen Ross who said, nah, I'm never going to take her. So
he's not going to take him from Michigan. He's going to take him from Minnesota.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
You know what that was by Ross? That was the old Nick Saban thing when he was interviewing. He was interviewing to go to the NFL, and they're like, did you ever talk to the Giants in New York? And he said, no, or the Jets or whoever it was. No, I never talked to him in New York.
No, he
talked to him in New Jersey.
Yeah, right, exactly. Which isn't, that's Nick Saban being Nick Saban. But again, right, what's that? That's a guy who's all in with a program that's all in, right? That's what we're talking about. So time will tell, and hopefully we hear something. There's already breaking news today about guys moving on and stuff like that. So maybe Harbaugh, there'll be a decision made.
Yeah. Neil Rule for the sports marketing agency SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of National Football League alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. And coming soon to Woodward Sports, the sports marketing agency podcast entitled This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl. If you are struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, that's thesportsma.com to learn more and be on the lookout for the new sports marketing agency podcast. This is the F Word, the series on fentanyl.
Six dark corners, a driveway and a patio. 5 windows could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. Happy to have all of you guys with us here today. Sam Sawyer. We're squad deep up in here, as we like to say. Let's change it up there because the Jim Harbaugh thing, I think, is going to be very fluid, and I think that's going to be a daily watch. That's going to become a daily topic, whether you guys like it or not, whether you're fatigued. Let's wrap up our YouTube chat poll. What do you want Jim Harbaugh to do? Majority of the votes are in. 53% say leave for the NFL. 47% say stay at Michigan. Is that about what you thought? Did you think?
No, I would think that what that tells me is make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Either which way, make a decision, right? And people don't really care if he leaves. Actually, they might a little bit prefer it to move forward. Because here's the thing: we're gonna go through this again every year that he's around. Right? Because it's not going to be this year, and if he doesn't get an NFL job, it's not going to leave the back of his mind that he wants one. And depending on how good or bad things go, right? He's always going to be what's next. That's my opinion, right? As far as I see that commitment, because he's already looking. He already to me wants to leave. So it'll be interesting. Whatever he does, Darren McCarty just wants him to do it sooner than later.
Just let it be known. Let it be known how it's going to go down. Tom Brady officially let it be known today. So this is officially official now? Right? Like this was Tom Brady saying it?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. So,
okay.
He burned us this weekend, but let's pray that it's the real deal.
But did he burn us, though? Because he did retire.
Yeah, true.
They were right. I know Schefter took a lot of heat and everybody was taking a lot of heat, but in the end, they were right because he is retired now. And I'm curious to see what happens. I know there was some kind of $15 million bonus or something like that, or salary that guarantees coming up on the 4th. I don't know if that'll be negotiated out or how that impacts a cap or stuff like that. Usually I'm up on that stuff, but this time I'm not. You got to dig deep to find that stuff, man. It doesn't just present it. You can't just Google that stuff and find it.
It's not like, would it be like the bowl negotiations? Where, hey, come on in. We owe you 10, but we're going to give you this. And if it's 15, he probably gets 10 or something like that.
The Athletic put out a tweet. They sent, since turning 40, Tom Brady has won more games and thrown for more yards and more touchdowns than any other quarterback in the 2000 draft did in their entire career. So,
wow.
He outperformed the entire draft class on his own.
What does he do? What's he do now? I mean, I know it's anything he wants, but, he's a football. You can't go from being programmed like a machine like that for years and years and years and years and shut it off. So it'll be interesting to see what his next step is. Do you think I don't see, he does the podcast and stuff now. Do you see him doing some sort of media stuff or doing some sort of, does he open a TB12 quarterback school? I mean, where does he go from here? Because if he's not doing something football, he's one of those guys that there's got to be something football. I relate him to Chris Draper. I mean, the game of hockey bleeds through that kid, as much as anybody.
He's a lifer.
He's a lifer, and Brady's a lifer too. So it'll be interesting. Oh, I got it. Tom Brady, Chris Draper, World Pickleball Championships. Maybe he's getting into pickleball. Drapes, I'll see what I can do for you. Kid, keep practicing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's official, right? He's the greatest of all time, greatest football player of all time.
I don't care if you hate somebody. Look at the stats. Look at the duration. I was told a long time ago.
Let's make that official, Sawyer, on the YouTube chat poll. Is Tom Brady the greatest football player of all time? I think this one's pretty much a layup, but I'm just curious to see what he got.
What was the stats? I'm trying to remember. 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 15 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pros, and Giselle.
Not necessarily in that order.
Not necessarily in that order.
What do you got, Sawyer?
Oh, I was just going to say, with Brady retiring, that means Gronk's probably done too now, right?
He's gonna call it. Right? Now I know what Gronk's going to do. Yeah. Gronk going to be having fun. Gronk will be on TV. He'll probably be in WWE again, doing all that stuff. Okay, Tommy. Hey, you done, Tommy? Okay. Yeah, I'm done too. Package deal.
AC, Rob Parker calls him the luckiest of all time. I mean, then, okay, whatever. I mean,
create your own luck.
Then he's the luckiest person of all time. Whatever.
There
I mean, the fact of the matter is.
Does there not have to be, if there is such a thing as luck, there will be the luckiest person. Tom Brady in football, maybe that. Lucky plus good equals GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. So, it's and we got it up on the YouTube chat thread right now, so I put it up there. Now that TB12 is retired, is he the GOAT? Yes, no, or duh. So, so there you go. Stephen Baffy says Brady's going to get out there and put his ass to work on the runway so he can finally earn a salary even close to his wife Giselle's.
If that's what he wants. Hey, Gronk ain't going to be doing beer bongs, Steve Baffy. He going to be doing keg stands. In Daytona. I bet you we see Gronk down at Daytona, Sawyer.
You know how, artists get residencies in Vegas?
Oh.
Gronk will get a residency at Daytona Beach or something like that.
As he should.
Beach Gronk parties
Oh,
where
my
you
gosh.
pay. Oh, my God. I came up with something right there.
You did.
Get him on the phone. You got his number?
Dang. There's certain people that I'm not allowed to have their phone number because we'd be too good of friends.
I got you. He's one of them. Okay. No, that's fair. That's actually a brilliant idea.
Nick, that is.
The Gronk Beach Party Experience. 500 people, just a beach party at Daytona. All VIP, all exclusive. Do a cake stand with Gronk. Beer chug with
Gronk. The Gronk Olympics. He's got his own.
A Gronk Beer Olympics.
Oh, my gosh. He's got his own. There's so many. You got to crush a can off your head, do a keg stand, run around, do the bat thing. Oh, my. We got it, Neil. Hey, Nick, get a hold of Gronk's people.
Lions Rumble 81. Gronk is going to shotgun Natty Ices. Oh, my God. He better get a spokesmanship deal for Motrin.
Like I said, I'm not. That's why. See, that's something I would do back in the day. So that's why we can't be friends.
No, I get it. It's there's no way he's not the best player of all time, and that's pretty much only 4% of the people say no. So, those 4% of the people are lying to themselves. You can lie to me, but don't lie to yourself, guys. And look, I fought that for a very long time too. Don't get it twisted. Data changed. And to quote Sam, the data changed as we went along.
The data changed, and here's the thing: why it's tough to accept. Because he's not the most physically gifted athlete. He's more of a Wayne Gretzky that had that cerebral sixth sense, right? That could make players better and stuff like that. What makes Tom Brady the GOAT is what he did to players around him, too. It's just not his individual talent, right? That's the difference between him and Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day, right? We see more or less Aaron Rodgers, regular season, stuff like this, but at the end of the day, it's more smoke and mirrors, right? Tom Brady gets it done. No matter who he's with, it's using. Why are you going to get mad that he's using every asset in his tool bag, right? Making everybody else around him. Do you agree that Tom Brady makes people around him better? Not just on, but off the field?
No question.
I think so. So that's what carries him over to the GOAT.
You saw Danny Amendola here, didn't you?
No. Was he here?
you feel me though? That's what I'm talking about.
Well, it's just that one thing, or it's just that way. That's to be the greatest of all time. And Wayne Gretzky was the same way. All those points and stuff like that. But if you look at Wayne Gretzky, he didn't have an overpowering shot. He didn't, you know what I mean? He was a phenomenal passer and stuff like this, but he wasn't the biggest guy, wasn't the fastest guy. He just thought the game better than everybody else. And that, to me, that's sort of Tom Brady. But, again, they're both GOATs, Sawyer. So, there it is.
Pistons fan 11 says Tom didn't mention the Patriots or New England at all in his post. What do we think about that? That is...
goes to show you that there's...
a strained relationship.
Well, here's the thing. It's the same thing. If you listen and hear different things that people say or don't say, it tells you a lot about the narrative of where they're at as far as that relationship, what you speculate on. Now, it's not saying, not saying it's as bad as we all think it is.
How does that go bad, D-Mac? Like, how does that relationship go bad?
See, did he not thank Kraft? Right, he didn't thank the owner.
Right,
I get not thanking Belichick because you'd think that was strained, but I thought with
Kraft. How does that go bad though? Like, you do what you do, I do what I do. Like, when we show up to do this show,
how does it go bad? Because we don't know something that happened behind.
Yeah, and that I understand.
And it's a loyalty thing.
Yeah,
and it's a trust thing, and it's something that and it happens in families or whatever. But there is a breach of relationship that can't be severed. I mean,
I would just think though, when you get that far in, when you get that far deep, you know what each other are about. It's kind of like being married to my wife,
right?
Or being a marriage.
It is a marriage.
I know what she's about.
That's
she knows what I'm about
divorce
at this point.
Because of us bringing up of what he didn't say in his press conference stuff, that makes you realize, ooh, a little bit more feelings, a little bit uglier divorce than we thought, right?
Right.
So that's the whole thing. There's
don't
more
understand
feelings
it.
left there.
Which I get it, but I don't understand it.
As somebody that there's questions to be asked, right? That's one of the things is down the road now that Tom Brady's retired. Not saying right away, but as he gets more comfortable, we'll probably find out what it was. Somebody's going to ask him, and he's going to reveal it to somebody. But to me, it just stuff like that tells me that wow, there is something. There's more fire behind the scenes in that relationship not being patched up.
No, and Cody Ingle says you can't say he's the best player. His positions are different. His play at quarterback will never be matched. Well, then you can say that he is the best player of all time because I think we all agree the quarterback is the most important position in sports. It just is.
Well, in football, you touch the ball every play.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, I think you can say that he's the best player of all time. Just like there's a certain spot out there for the best haircuts of all time, D-Mac.
There sure is. And you know what, guys? We are a simple bunch. We like football on Sundays, even though we have to wait a couple weeks now, but we can do it. We like to feel the TV remote in the palm of our hands. Now, this is a phone, I know that, but let's pretend it's a remote because when you're at Lady Jane's, they have all the games on, all the TVs in all the mirrors. Lady Jane's for men, haircuts for men. Walk in, sit down. Before you know it, your hair is game ready. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, D Max, Sawyer, and Sam. Be right back with Woodward Sports Network.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Back at it here, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sawyer, and Sam here. And look, you guys can celebrate the Ashawn Bowl with everybody here at Woodward Sports. That's right. We can watch Ashawn Robinson in the biggest game of the season with hundreds of your fellow Lions fans. That'll be going down at the Brass Rail Detroit. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness. A live broadcast from 4:30 to 6:30 downtown at the Brass Rail Detroit, followed by the Woodward Sports Watch Party. I think I'm going to have to slide on through that for the Ashawn Bowl with my fellow Detroit Lions fans. If you want to celebrate Brandon Powell, you can too, because certainly he was a big part of the Lions with his 11 catches and 2 punt returns during his time in the Honolulu Blue and Silver. And if you like Matt Stafford, roll on down too. We certainly can do that as well. But celebrate Ashawn Robinson and all these big plays like this time here, where he had a pick 6 against Drew Brees. So everybody can get hype. Everybody can celebrate at the Brass Rail Detroit. The Sunday of the big game. Live broadcast starts at 4:30. Watch party directly after. I'll be there. Maybe I'll get one of those half and half jerseys. Ashawn Robinson half and half jersey. Would that be fire?
Now that's one you could wear right there. That'd be sweet.
I would wear that one.
Yeah. Oh, I just had a Jeff Saturday half Colts, half Packers jersey pop in my head. Favorite center of all time right there.
Yeah.
That was my position in football
dude,
too.
That guy's got some of the greatest eyes.
Oh,
if you look at, like, you know what I mean?
The guy was a computer.
The pewter.
He's a computer.
They're pewter eyes. Go watch him. He does a great job. I like listening to him and any of the guys that are on the offense, and obviously being the Peyton Manning's guy and stuff like that. No, I'm a big Saturday fan. Pewter eyes, though. Seriously. It's mesmerizing. You get caught staring, not listening to staring at his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. People are fired up for the Ashawn Bowl. That's pretty cool. Sam, you excited to watch Ashawn Robinson, see if he can cash it in?
Oh, yeah. I am almost as thrilled as you are, but I don't think anybody can be as thrilled as you are.
So wait a sec. You said you'd wear the Ashawn jersey
yes,
double. So
that's my defensive tackle, D-Mac.
I get it. So if Stafford is somebody's quarterback, then you can't bag on somebody for wearing that jersey, the half and half jersey. So you're not condoning wearing the jersey. It's just which jersey you wear. It's
Sure.
just that jersey.
Sure, whatever.
I like it. He'd wear one. It's just not he wouldn't wear the Stafford one. That's all he's saying.
YouTube poll. Now that TB12 is retired, is he the greatest football player of all time? 7% say no. The rest of you have common sense. So we'll leave it. And look, guys, again, I'm a very unique source to speak on this because I thought that for a very long time. I thought that, too, that it was kind of lightning in a bottle. And as I go back through it, if you want to do, like, favorite Tom Brady moment or something like that, for me, though, it all still goes back to beating the Rams. It does, because there was no chance that the Patriots could beat the Rams. And Kurt Warner, who I think is very, very undervalued, A, as a postseason quarterback, and B, as a quarterback in general. I think anything that you want to put on Brett Favre, I think you can put on Kurt Warner.
And I think because of this different story, if anybody hasn't seen an American Underdog, you can see his the movie that's done about him coming from being the grocery clerk to whatever else. But I think a lot of times too is because when a guy comes sort of out of nowhere, out of the arena league, is older, right? Has that then he doesn't get that credibility.
Yeah,
as
and
being
people
the
say
young
because he
guy.
didn't have the durability, but it's not his fault. GMs are idiots.
Yeah. No, he was as good as they get. Especially with that St. Louis team, and with Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. You got Marshall Faulk out of backfield. That was a legit team. It really is only amazing. And you remember that Mike James or Jones stop of Kevin Dyson at the half-yard line or whatever.
It's one of maybe the iconic Super Bowl moment.
Absolutely. 100%. You'll always remember that. And that one and it's the same thing, is that whether there's so many that almost happen to greatness, like so near the wire, and that's one of them. But dude, see that Rams
so
team,
short.
Dick Vermeil, like as far as offensive mind and just letting these guys go, like it was a perfect track meet team, and Warner was the perfect guy because you brought up Brett Favre, right? Total opposites. Like Warner was the gunslinger, but he was more of the sheriff. He would choose when to pull his gun out.
He always hit the chest when he pulled the trigger on the pistol.
Listen, when he pulled out the gun, when he was going to use it, but it was used thoughtfully, where Favre just pulled the gun out and shot it all the time. Didn't matter what. Like Stafford's got more Favre in him than Warner, but I think that you're right when you break it down as far as guys that get caught that you forget. Kurt Warner was one of the, in my era anyways, for watching for 3, 4, 5 years, was one of the greatest.
No, he was, and I don't think that he gets the respect that he deserves. And he took the Cardinals to a Super Bowl.
Well, that's the whole thing. He went twice.
I think that's his biggest accomplishment. Not winning the MVP or being a Super Bowl MVP or having like 2 of the top 4 passing performances in the Super Bowl. I think his biggest accomplishment is he took the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. That's like taking the Lions to the Super Bowl.
Wow. No.
Yeah,
Close.
it was
at the
almost
time
as heard of, as unheard of.
No, I mean, again, and not enough props. But if you get a chance, you want to dig in, go check out an American Underdog story.
Yeah, I agree though. He was incredible, but Tom Brady certainly will go down as the GOAT. And for me, that's what it was. I think for Tom Brady, that was a signature moment. And I know it was like the first moment, it was early on, but I think it was because the 6th-round draft pick, all that, beat the Rams, and then just never stopped. What do you got, Sam?
I have to push back a little bit on that being his moment because he only led the team to 13,
a field goal.
So 13 points. He passed for 145 yards. The defense had a pick 6, and they allowed 17 points to the greatest show on turf. Tom Brady didn't win that Super Bowl. The Patriots did.
But Tom Brady's Super Bowls are team victories. It's not. He's not the guy.
But it all boils down to this. You have the ball in your hand. You determine the fate of what happened. If you don't come through, you don't win.
I mean, I think it was a 37-yard drive or something like that. Not discrediting it, but he only had to get to like the 31. Credit to him.
But he did it.
He did
what he needed to do.
He did it, but the defense held the greatest show on turf to 17 points and had a pick 6 by Ty Law. That matters. That's important.
Let me ask you this, though, Sam. If we had, I don't know, who's the greatest athlete of all time. If we have Michael Jordan on the show, okay, and you're running the audio for it, you going to be feeling that pressure?
Oh, I mean, of course.
You know what I'm saying? If you get it done, that's an accomplishment.
Oh, it's an accomplishment.
And if you don't, that's going to be your your identity. You know what I'm saying? Right or wrong, you could do a million things. To your point, it started
his identity. Right to the point is that's where to you put on the map and see what he did. And now a lot of it, you break it down, Super Bowl wins or team wins. Yeah, he's got 5 Super Bowl MVPs, but a lot of the times it's and that's when I talk about why the GOAT and things around him. Guys got to want to play. You got to want to play for your quarterback on defense. They got to want to win it for that guy. There's got to be unity there, or else you don't see it. So, in looking in hindsight, you can see why it's played out. Different times, the teams have stepped up at different times. But that's why it's a team sport.
Yeah, I just don't think that people realize when you go under center with a minute and a half to go in the Super Bowl and everything's on the line. Like, that's how I would equate it. If we were having Michael Jordan on the show in 5 minutes and you're running the audio for it, you tell me if you're feeling that or not. You know what I'm saying? What is it like for you?
The big thing, Neil, is that what you saw there is that the moment ain't too big. That's what you see, and it doesn't matter how talented. And I'll sit here and say, more people, the brighter the lights, bring it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show out. I'm an entertainer, right? You give me more people to perform in front of or to show whatever like that, man. I love that. Now, as I've evolved, you give me one person that listens, you're going to get it the same. But that's when you find out there's no moment is too big. That's what we saw with Joe Burrow, right? Here, one of the questions that I'm going to bring up, and this is sort of for next week, I think, though, but with all the young guns, and Sam brought it up earlier with Patrick Mahomes, with the AFC and the quarterbacks, coming to the Super Bowl. But Joe Burrow is, to me, if you use the comparisons, the new Tom Brady. The demeanor, the way that he acts, the way that he talks, just the way that the team is around him, right? You want to expect him to be a certain way and not, I don't want to say nerd or intellectual, but whatever, that doesn't fit into the norm, right? He's got the sort of, they have a similar personality, it seems like Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, where it doesn't fit in with the norm, but you see how much it fits in and how much his teammates love him. That's what it's all about. That's what the intangibles you can't figure out, right? You don't know as a fan.
Joe Burrow, man, I mean, he's just as cool as it gets.
My guy. Dude, I love Josh Allen too, right? But I'm gonna stake my claim to Joe Burrow because I just think that he's Joe Cool, baby.
Well, just like he gets sacked 100 times a game, and you
don't see him complaining. If Rodgers took one of those hits or anything else, he'd be looking out his ear hole and just so like whining and complaining. He gets back up, and that's why the Bengals organization's on the same page because when they drafted Jamar Chase, and like you said yesterday, were just bad enough to get that pick. To me, it tells me Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, we're going happy that it worked out for us to get Penei Sewell, but we think that they're going to take Penei Sewell, and Joe Burrow goes, no, my knee's fine. I'll take another year of this. I'll see what we can do. I need Jamar, right?
Yeah, I won a championship with him before.
I need Jamar out of anything. But Joe, you're going to get killed again. I don't care. Let me deal with that. I need Jamar. We got to go this way. Because isn't it, right? Look at how we're doing it here in Detroit. And it's not saying it's the wrong way to do it, but building the offense and defensive line. Well, Cincinnati's got a better defensive line than they do offensive line, but they have really no offensive line and they got to the Super Bowl. So there's something there. And to me, that's Joe Burrow, the new Tom Brady.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll see. Oh, by the way, Our Detroit Magazine released the final voting today for the best Detroit sports personality, the best of the Detroit whole thing. Best sportscasters. There's some big-time names on there. Bernie Smilovitz, Dan Miller, Mike Valeni.
Did they get, was the votes in?
Well, this is like the final voting. They had like a preliminary round where everybody nominated their favorite people, and now they narrow it down to 5.
Okay.
They have it narrowed down to 5.
When's the finals in? So can everybody vote? Would Neil Rule be on that list?
Oh, yeah, I'm on that list,
too.
Oh,
you are?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so
I'm on that list, too.
Vote for the Celtics soothing tones of Neil Rule.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just happy to be nominated, everybody.
There it is. That's all it is. Nomination.
Happy to tell you about...
Hey, that's some... Wait, before you get this one, that's BS because you've won that 2 years in a row.
Won it 2 years in a row.
So nominations, no. We need the three-peat.
We do. We need
something that I was not.
Something that
I was not able to do.
Help me accomplish something, D-Mac, that you could.
Help me accomplish something that I was never able to do. Because I will take pride in it.
Let me show you what you did wrong, D-Mac,
Thank
and
you.
I'll go ahead and win the third one, and then we'll go from there. Citron World's an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots like D-Mac has in his hand right there. The official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you want premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Citron is your top choice. Buy online at citronworld.com with the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it, live it with Citron.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. New poll that Sawyer has on the YouTube chat thread. Do you want to see Tom Brady model Uggs again? The answers are yes and of course. So there you go.
You got a pair of Uggs, Neil?
I do not.
You got a pair of Uggs, Sawyer?
I do not, but I have some buddies who have like the kind of shoe boot ones that have laces. They wear them as slippers. They look real comfortable. Not gonna lie.
No,
I've been tempted.
Dude, I got a couple pair.
Yeah?
They're comfortable as heck. No socks. Beautiful.
Ooh.
Mike G says, I was told that Rule Breaker is always at the top of every list. Lions Rumble 81, atta baby Neil. No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. It's tall. It's a tall task to beat some of those people that are on there. I won't even act like it's not. But we'll get the social media campaign going. Everything. People don't. I'm not one of these people that's going to go out and pander for votes. I'm not going to do that.
But if you
are going to vote in the thing.
But if you wanted to vote, if you were bored at work, and pull it up and throw Neil's name in there.
Yeah, if you want to vote, go ahead. But I'm not going to be out here pandering for votes because I don't do that type of thing. I'm bigger than that, D-Mac.
You're bigger than that.
By the way, the category above is best sportscaster. Like I'm in the best. How did they phrase it on here? It is best sports reporter. My apologies. Best sports reporter. Terry Foster is nominated. See, that's my advertising budget, advertising campaign budget right there. Hey, go ahead.
Vote for Neil?
Yeah, Our Detroit Magazine Best of Detroit poll. So go ahead, go to their website, click on that. Vote for me if you see fit. If not, that's cool too. Best Sports Reporter to Terry Foster here of Woodward Sports Network on that list as well. So Woodward Sports Network could clear the list. We could sweep the category.
Might as well do it.
Much like the 97 Stanley Cup Finals.
And 98.
And the 98 Stanley Cup Finals.
I mean, that's just what we do.
Yeah. It could be a sweep for Woodward Sports yet again. Help me do something D-Mac couldn't do. Go back to back to back.
I couldn't. Fell short.
No, but happy to have Mike G, D-Mac, Neil's going Sergey mode right now.
Absolutely. There we go. It's all right. Let him go. Let him go. That's what happens. Somebody nailed it earlier. He plays 200 feet. He's got a great handle. Works in the teammates and stuff like this. This young Rule kid, he's got potential.
Yeah, absolutely. I did want to talk about this because I came across this tweet, and Sawyer has it, about the Super Bowl and the ticket prices. And somebody pulled up like a seating chart with the prices attached to all the different levels. And if you're watching on the YouTube chat thread, you can see basically upper corners of the end zone. You can get into the Super Bowl for right around $5,000, give or take a couple bucks.
What? $5,000?
I saw you looking up there. Yeah, so that's about it. If you want to sit lower bowl, you're looking at about 10-ish grand, depending if you want to be to the back of the first deck or wherever you want to be. 10 to 15 grand, depending on where you want to sit in the lower bowl. Obviously, 50-yard line seats coming at a premium, right about 25 grand. Some of them up around 40,000 per ticket. So, D-Mac, it got me to thinking. Lions fans, how much would you pay to go see the Lions at the Super Bowl? How much would you pay for a ticket? And knowing that, like, that $5 grand to sit at the last row in the corner of the end zone, that's just to get in to SoFi Stadium. That's not obviously
to say you've been there.
Yeah, that's not getting you to LA. That's not your hotel. That's not your parking. That's not having a beer or eating any food and all that kind of stuff that we all say is way too expensive. That's just to get in the door. So, I mean, usually, with a $5,000 ticket price, obviously you need a flight, you need a hotel for at least 2 nights. I would imagine.
Well, you're going to LA. So
you're going to LA. That's probably at a premium as well. So what would be the price for the sports people out there, for the Lions people out there? To quote Ted DiBiase, everybody has a price. What's your price that you would pay for a ticket to see the Lions in the Super Bowl? That's my question to everybody out there. And
that's crazy, but that's sort of the reality of it. So my first thing is, well, do they have a shot to win? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To be there. I mean, it would be one thing because they made the Super Bowl and the experience, but honestly, for me, Neil, football is the greatest game on TV. For the replays, for everything else, I have no inkling unless it was here.
Yeah.
Right? Unless it would be here or if I showed up, that somebody paid me to be there. That's pretty much it for as far as the Super Bowl, especially with those prices. How do you enjoy that? What if you're the lifelong Lions fan, so you need to take out you got to take out your 401k just to go watch a game?
Well, I know how many people popped up and went to Miami for the Michigan game. I mean, there were a lot that went down there. I'm guessing that wasn't cheap. I didn't go down there, so I don't know what the prices were and everything like that. But I'm guessing tickets probably were pushing a comma, at least one comma in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, again, different
and Michigan
worlds.
fans were dying for this, and they rolled out down there. So I guess I'd bounce it back to that.
I guess it goes down to your Lion, your fandom, and the fact that we're talking about something that's never happened in 90% of our lifetimes and stuff like that. So I guess where it was too, where is it being held? That had something to do with it, so it would come into it. But I wouldn't, if the Lions win the Super Bowl this year or whatever, I wouldn't be thinking about going. I know, and so to your point, I got about 4 Cincinnati Bengals fans that are looking for all the ticket giveaways and stuff like this, but they're in the boat that we're talking about. Right? If you're a Bengals fan, would you pay that money to go?
You're starving for
No,
it.
because pretty much what we're seeing with the Bengals is what we're hoping for with the Lions. So maybe any Bengals fans out there or something like this look into it. Are they doing it? Because their reality is the thing we're only talking about in make-believe land, right? So I'm sure there's a whole bunch of Cincinnati fans that have been waiting for this day and this opportunity that are dropping. What do you got to drop? 25 grand with everything included to have a great time, sit in a great seat. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to ask. I know they're looking for it, but I try to find some Cincinnati Bengals fans that are doing exactly that because they've waited their life. So maybe that might be something to give you sort of a pathway to what that experience was like, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things too, Neil, that's not winning, right? So they'd have to. It wouldn't be that great experience if they lost for me, right? To somebody else, it might be just getting there, but that's to each their own.
And it goes. And I've talked to you guys before about my buddy. That's a terminal. We've come up with the term terminal Lions fan. There's no escape. It's not curable. He can't overcome it. He can't defeat it. He's locked into being a Lions fan for life. And the optimistic kind, too, that always thinks that this year's the year and this year that it's going to go down. We've talked about him many times before. And I pose a question to him. He said, and this is very interesting, and Don Rivera in a YouTube chat thread said that this is an interesting topic because I'm curious to see how much people would pay. This is a very smooth play, I think, by my buddy. He said, I would pay any amount to go to the NFC Championship. If they win, I would want to be with everybody and all my friends to watch and experience. It's one of the bucket list items of my life to watch the Lions in a Super Bowl with my dad. So
and how do you argue that where it's something that's how deep it is that you've been watching with your family or your dad or whatever, things getting older. That's why I lean to the Cincinnati Bengals, right? There's some people that are out there doing exactly what you're talking about right there in that text message from your buddy, that it's a reality right now. Right, Neil?
Right.
Like that's the whole thing. So that's reality. I would rather be around a bunch of people like that have gone through it, that I've watched a bunch of games with here, and have a spread and the TVs and enjoy it like that, because I don't think you get to enjoy that experience as much. Sure, by yourself, so you have that, but listen, we are all terminal Lions fans to some degree, right? So I would want to make sure there's enough terminal people around me, good or bad, win or lose, because we go through it together.
And I know, because we talked about the prices and stuff like that, and a lot of people are talking about that know that they wouldn't do it, and it's kind of the same thing. I think it's easy to say now, and I'll ask you, a lot of you are Michigan fans out there. How many of you went? How many of you went down to Miami? And how many of you, and if you don't mind me asking, what'd you pay for tickets to get in there? Because I think there are a lot of parallels where we can say that now because it's not happening. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. It hasn't happened in my lifetime. It hasn't happened in your lifetime. So it's easy to say, oh, no, I would never do that. I would never pay that kind of money. But I think that there's almost a backlash to that, to where if it did happen, the enormity of it all kind of hits you over the head as a fan. And you think about my buddy who said, I always wanted to watch the Lions in the Super Bowl with my dad. He's my friend. We're in that same age group as you, a little bit older than Sawyer and the guys, but, not old. But we do, for me, I look ahead to all that kind of stuff. And I think once you get, in your upper 30s into 40s, you kind of start to look at life a little bit differently. You know what I mean when I say that.
You know what would be really cool though, Neil? And it reminded me, I was reading through, is they used to have the Joe Vision for the road games that people pack the Joe for $5 and concessions, and they show shots back at Joe Louis Arena and stuff. If the Lions went to the Super Bowl and it wasn't in Ford Field, that if the Lions did something like that, I'd be more apt to go watch the game at Ford Field with 80,000 Lions fans and experience that sort of together, and even watch it on the big screen or whatever the heck that they had, be more into that. And I think it'd be more feasible, even if it was $100 a ticket or whatever it was, something that, because I think it's the experience that we all want to have, right? I don't want to have the experience of the Lions winning their first Super Bowl by myself or with one other person. I want it with all the people that have suffered through the whole time that I've suffered. And even longer.
James said, let's just start with seeing a Lions playoff win with our parents first. I did have the good fortune to see that. I was a kid, and my dad and I went to the game, and still to this day, that's probably my favorite in-person sporting event that I ever went to, because I was high on the supply after that game. I was like, we can beat the Redskins. We can beat Washington. We can do that. We can go to the Super Bowl. And
isn't it? Hey, so think about this, right? That Neil Rule is the last time.
Yeah.
Right? That little Neil Rule, all the stuff. How many furnaces burned through in his house? How many, all this stuff. But
soon to be two.
Whatever we're talking about, guys, it doesn't really matter, because it's all about safety and security. And Guardian Alarm, they get it. Whether for home or business, a good defense helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring right here from this little thing, your phone. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control the temperature, the lights, detect for smoke if it's on fire, even that deadly silent killer, carbon monoxide. So if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports family, you can too, but you have to call 1-800
Stay out.
That's 1-800
Stay out.
For everybody in the back, the girls in the office, and the people getting their hair cut. That's 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Get out of Sam's house. You know it. He's so bitter about Patrick Mahomes. Leave him alone, but Guardian Alarm has him safe. They can for you, too. That's 1-800. Stay out. Let them know. Woodward Sports sent you Guardian Alarm. Your local security experts. D-Mac, Neil Rule, Sawyer Sam, Big D Energy here on a Tuesday. Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brad Holmes here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
Here at Woodward Sports, we're always up for a good cause and a good time. This year we present the 2022 Cupid Sunday Run. Yeah, you heard right. Time to get in our underwear and run the streets of Detroit. For the last 12 years, we've stripped down, ran in the cold, and partied to raise money to help fund research to end NF. February 12th, join the staff from Woodward Sports and hundreds of other beautiful people downtown at the Tin Roof. You can register as an individual or your team today at woodwardsports.com. So start doing those squats, sit-ups, or just some 12-ounce curls. And get ready for Cupid Sunday Run 2022. Sponsored by the awesome people at Gypsy Vodka, Cintron, and Planet Fitness. We'll see you February 12th at the Tin Roof. In our underwear.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. Talking about what kind of price would you pay as a Lions fan to go to the Super Bowl. And maybe you'll get that choice soon. Jonah Jackson named to the 2022 Pro Bowl team, replacing Brandon Scherf, who's unable to participate due to injury. You know, it was funny, too, D-Mac, because when I was at Planet Fitness this morning on the treadmill, it was a cardio day.
Because your fitness is essential.
Right, because it was a cardio day. You get a lot of time to look things up and think about stuff when you're on that treadmill for 30 minutes. But I did look at Scherf's contract situation. Don't be surprised if that's a guy you see the Bengals go after. They got a ton of cap space, obviously. So, you know, depending on what happens in the Super Bowl, I think not even depending, they will have a desire to upgrade that offensive line, and Scherf certainly could be somebody that they will have the firepower to go get if they so choose.
Here's the one thing, right? When we're sitting here at the beginning of the year, and what does Dan Campbell say other than kneecaps and stuff, is the fact we're going to build on the offense and defensive line. I mean, at the end of the year, right, when you got your first-round rookie being graded as one of the best, not only rookies, but right guards and stuff like this playing out of position, and then you have other guys being acknowledged throughout the league, to me, I give a check mark to progress taken, right? Can we sit here and is anybody unhappy with the progress of the offensive line? Now they got to get better, but it's this, and this is good. You know why, right, Neil? And for Jonah Jackson, this is good. Right, because these are sort of the guys that never get any rub, all the dirty work that they do, all the stuff. So, again, along the same lines as the Matt Stafford winning his first playoff game, being able to look himself in the mirror, Jonah Jackson gets to go to the mirror every day and say, hey, I'm a Pro Bowler. Congratulations. That's a start. That's baby steps, foundational pieces for this team.
Third-round draft pick.
There you go.
Not making a lot of money.
And again, right? So figure out the narrative. Let's go. Who's this pro? Oh, wait. Draft. Oh, we drafted him. Oh, we got him under contract. We got another one to you where you go to your little secondary check mark off in your book as far as, draft capital, bonus, draft capital, draft bonus, contract bonus, this and that. It ain't a guy that's gone out and won the Pro Bowl and is going up to the table to get a bag. Right? That's not the position. This is your young guys that you're building, getting them confidence. So it's the same thing, not to get off topic, but it's the same thing as
I think it is part of the topic.
But it's the same thing as what to get on to Dylan Larkin, right? He's gonna get his bag, but he earned his bag, right? So that's what you're seeing. And as long as the Lions are being put together by guys who play and get paid, then you don't mind paying them down the road. It's all about building that foundation. And I think as a unit, because it's like the grind line. When any of the grind line gets accolades, we all take it because we're one. And that's what I think the offensive line should do. So it's a kudos to him and kudos to the league for recognizing that.
We're talking about right now, how much would you pay as a Lions fan? Because a Super Bowl ticket price is right around $6,000 to sit in the upper corner of the end zone at the Super Bowl. How much would you pay? Sawyer put out there on the YouTube chat poll, 5 to 10,000 has 18% of the vote. Over 10,000 has 8% of the vote. Hell no has 74% of the vote. And I think that's easy for you guys to say because we're not in that moment. And I think it was easy for Michigan fans to say, well, I would never do that. And I had a lot of Michigan State friends that when they went to the playoff against Alabama, they knew what they were walking into.
But they wanted to walk into it.
But they wanted to walk into it because I don't know if we'll ever get back. And I would say that's times 1,000 with Lions fan because it's never happened in my lifetime. It's never happened in the Super Bowl's lifetime. So when you start putting all those things together, and then the family angle, my buddy that talks about like it's a bucket list thing to watch a Super Bowl with my dad, and there are many thousands of people.
Caveats.
There's peoples, lots of peoples in this YouTube chat thread that probably have the same type of feeling. So that's why I'm curious to know. But the Jonah Jackson thing is another point. And guys, I'll tell you this too. And I've taken a lot of flack about the Stafford thing, which I didn't understand because being labeled a Stafford hater and stuff like that. That's why I wanted him to lose. It wasn't because I hate Stafford. It's because it was business for me. And Jonah Jackson, third-round draft pick, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Aleem McNeil, and Penei Sewell, and all those guys. I'm going to tell you this, and I know that the 2020 draft wasn't a Brad Holmes draft, but whatever, he's here, and he's in the Pro Bowl this year. I'm saying it like this, D-Mac, and I'm prepared to say this, where I honestly believe, and I haven't thought this since Chuck Schmidt, I honestly believe that the Lions will win a playoff game under Brad Holmes. That's my floor.
Oh.
That's my floor of what I believe, and I'm prepared to write that in stone.
I
am. And
yes,
D-Mac,
I believe this is a
newsbreaking.
regime to get us the first playoff win.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know. But if they keep doing the things that they're doing in building this team by drafting guys that play, get acknowledgments, yep, there's a sign. It's on hold. Guys, it's on hold for a while. But just know it's there. We're halfway there, living on a prayer. You know it. Anyways, that's the one thing. You know that the building blocks, right? And here's the one thing too, Neil, is because this is what we hope, right? That it's not like 2014 where this is the year we draft this guy and this is our shot and then everybody leaves. We're hoping that this is a setup, a foundational buildup so that when we do win that playoff game and then don't go any further, we're going to be back there the next year and back there the next year like regular NFL teams do, like normal, owned, coached, managed NFL teams do. They consistently get back and give themselves a shot. Now, in saying that, as far as you're right, because when that moment comes, that'll be the telltale sign. And it'll be a lot easier to see the bigger picture if this is a one and done. Is this the only chance we got because guys are leaving, contracts, this or that? Or is this team built for this? And I think that's why it's different. Now, it's early, but these are the early signs that have come out with the clock after 17.
Yeah, and that's where it is, and everything went well. I thought, all things being told, I'd rather have the number one pick, obviously. Where was this one? Shad, and I just lost it. Where was it? Oh, Shad 216JF says thinking the Rams was actually going to be bad was bad business. I didn't think they were going to be bad. When they had an opportunity to be out, I wanted them to be out. Because I know you guys don't think this way, but I do, because I guess I'm stupid like that. It's more advantageous to have the 19th pick than the 31st pick. I guess I'm stupid. I was told it doesn't matter. That's what I've been told over and over again. If he's such a great GM, then it doesn't matter, which is foolishness, but maybe I'm the fool. I don't know.
I believe it all works out the way that it should. I'm the one who actually who bet the Rams to win the conference and win the Super Bowl because of this deal, whatever like that, just because that's the way the karma, so bet them before before the season. So,
good call.
But yeah, well, it was up and down throughout the year, but right now it is. But here's the whole thing. That's ridiculous because, again, it goes to you'd rather have $5 than $3. Just having the option to say no to somebody. Right? Did people understand that? That's the most power. The power is to say, I want you or I don't want you. Right? Not have to take you.
Or the greater power that's missed in all this is to the Cincinnati Bengals, I want him.
Or the Cincinnati Bengals
or
those teams, right? Which there's 4 or 5 teams, and we know that they don't care because they want that Chiefs, guy. And if you got
the Chiefs say, I want that guy, he's going to be the missing piece.
Well,
we'll make it worth our time.
Right. That's the right. You look at like a Buffalo or somebody who you think is close. Right, instead of the retooling, but is close, that doesn't care what anybody else does. We see it every year. So to be able to be in that spot where that team wants to move up, move around, it's all about assets. So, yeah, here's the thing. In Holmes, we trust. So you trust that what it doesn't matter is that you trust he's going to get a great player, a player that he wants. But it doesn't assure you it's his first choice.
See, there you go. You start talking things through, man. I like it. MBS 195 question: why was Stafford allowed out his contract and asked for a trade, but Barry Sanders of Megatron wasn't, but forced to retire? Well, his contract went with him. Yeah, we traded. Essentially, I always like to break it down like this: there were 2 trades we did with the Rams. They gave us a first for Matt Stafford, and they gave us a first to take Jared Goff.
Yeah, and the money.
And that's what it was.
Right, exactly, because the money had to work out. And at the end of the day, you know what? You're going to be mad because you're hoping the fact that Stafford has a crappy year, the Rams have a crappy year, and you're banking on that pick. No. You knew when you sent them, right? And especially because you're Brad Holmes coming out of that organization, knowing that when you give him the piece to the puzzle, right, they're sitting here going, expecting 30, 31, 32. They knew that when they traded that.
Right.
Coming from there, knowing how close they were. So give me a break.
Let me see. Clomp Sauce says, I almost got tickets for the Georgia. We're wrapping up that discussion right now. How much would you pay to go see the Lions in the Super Bowl? I almost got tickets to the Georgia game. Glad I didn't. And as I said, I know a lot of Michigan State friends of mine that did pull the trigger, and they knew what they were walking into. I don't think they knew it to that degree. That was still a 10-0 game, though, in the toward the second quarter. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was that bad. But it's like the Lions Washington NFC Championship game was 17-10 at halftime. People forget that because it ended up 41-10. But, that's the way that goes.
Halftime adjustments are huge.
Francis Garcia, I can be starving for it and enjoy the Super Bowl much more by having friends at my house watching and screaming. And I think that ultimately, if the Lions did go to the Super Bowl, because of that hunger to see it, and the fact that, and when my buddies and I got to talking about it, I brought up the point, there's been multiple generations of Lions fans that have never seen this. Generations. I mean, when you start, it's like when Brady retires or somebody retires, and they start putting those stats out.
It was back in the late 1900s, right? It was like the early 1990s.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's crazy when you start putting that together. And I do think that there would be a big segment of Detroit
3 generations.
Fans. Yeah, I would think that there would be a big segment of Detroit fans that would say, you know what, I'm going to be here with my family.
How sad is this? 25-year anniversary of Sweet Revenge is 6 years later than the playoff win.
And never a Super Bowl appearance. Like, you start putting that together, and my buddy, my Terminal Lions fan, said, he's like, sometimes I'll be driving on a road trip or whatever, and I'll just be looking down the highway and think about that, the fact that I might not get to watch a Super Bowl with my dad, and he's like, I get like emotional, like my eyes will tear up and stuff like that. Like, that's how bad.
Because the reality is that when you're sitting there at that playoff game as little Neil Rule back in '91, right? In the
We're gonna
back
do
of your
this all the
mind, in the
time.
back of your mind is, okay, it's all right, Dad. You know, they'll get back here. We'll see another game like this.
Yeah.
And you still have.
And you still haven't seen it. You know,
Well,
and
it
that's,
makes you want to drink, doesn't it, if you drank? What would
well,
you drink?
I mean, yeah, an occasion like that, maybe a Saturday night, you know, whatever. You know how I operate this thing. Gypsy, vodka, 50 different formulas, countless taste tests. Best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. Look, we have all the technicals there, all the advertising speak. The gluten-free, the artesian spring water, corn distilled 6 times, the cool bottle that you see on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. And it is a cool-looking bottle if you're listening on the radio. Doesn't matter to me. Again, to me, doesn't matter. All I know is, and all I can tell you is this. I pour it in a glass with some ice, some club soda, and some lime, and I like it. That's all I got for you guys. I mean, I like to think that's the biggest recommendation I can give you to Gypsy Vodka. When I have a vodka soda, I prefer Gypsy to be in the glass with the soda. It's really crazy. It's just good tasting vodka. It's rock solid, not super expensive either. I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those gems. Really, you see, I'm sure you all have a couple of go-to bourbons that are like that. Gypsy Vodka, man, it's just rock solid. A Friday night, a summer day, whatever you want to do, Gypsy Vodka is it. Try a bottle of it, guys. I'm telling you, just humor me. Try a bottle. Try a bottle. If you like vodka, try a bottle. Throw it in your Bloody Mary or whatever you're going to do with it. Try a bottle. You can thank me later. Just trust me on this one, guys. I do it. Gypsy Vodka. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy. As always, drink responsibly.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, joint.
It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network coming down the stretch. Neil Rule, D-Mac, everybody get ready for that Armageddon snowstorm. It's folklore, D-Mac. This is the one. This is it.
Dude, speaking of snowstorms, not to get off topic, but I remember 78, right? So I was like 5, 6 years old. 1978 was the last big one. So we had a house, right, that had a circle driveway and whatever like this. But there's so much snow that we go and like by the time it was out, had to shovel tunnels. It was over the cars, everything like that. My grandpa took me and my cousins on the roof, and we'd be tobogganing off the roof of the house and whatever. It was unbelievable. I remember still because we had a picnic table that we dug out and put a whole bunch of bird seed and stuff for the squirrels. So it'd be a party, and then it was unbelievable to look out your window and to see snow over your house.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to get that bad, but that's the snowstorm I remember.
Robert Close here, our good friend. I lost my dad in 2020, so sadly he won't see me finally celebrate, which is sad, since he was the one who heard me say, I like those helmets as a 5-year-old, and started getting me gear. And those are the stories I think that a lot of people have. You know, and I do. I think if the Lions ever made it to the Super Bowl, you wouldn't see a ton of people, many people as you think, going to the game, because you would be there with generations of your family and friends.
Right. Here's the thing. Right. You got to think about it. The way that the economy is, the way that the different, with the Bitcoins, the NFTs or whatever, might be in a different financial situation in a few years when they eventually get there. But I think what's more important to the conversation for me is when they finally get there is to be around the ones, no matter where it was at the game, at Ford Field, at a bar, at a house, with the people that you suffered with the most. That's what it is, right? Your friends you've suffered with the most, your family, your dad, whatever like that. That's how I want to spend it.
Clomsaw says, like the guy that listened to the Cubs game when they won the World Series at his dad's grave. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, man, where it hits, man. It hits. I remember, when I was younger, watching the Wings, because my first real sports that I watched on television and that I played were basketball and hockey as a little kid. And that was back when the games were on Channel 50, like a handful of them were on Channel 50 or whatever. And that's where I kind of fell in love with doing radio and broadcasting, because to get every game, you'd have to listen to it on the radio. And my bedroom was upstairs, so I would turn the radio just loud enough so I could hear it, but my parents couldn't, so they would think I was sleeping or whatever. But all those years, that's where I got the love affair with Ernie and George Blaha and Bruce Martin and Paul Woods and all, pretty much everybody, Mark Champion with the Lions. That's where I kind of fell in love with all that stuff, because that was my ticket to the game every night. And then, for me, with the Red Wings, and then they were awful, and then Yzerman came, and they were good. They were a playoff team and stuff like that. Then right around the time all you guys showed up, on the scene to kind of push that over the top, I remember that pain of getting there and not winning, and that's where it was as somebody who grew up, because the Red Wings got to a level with Yzerman, and unfortunately that level was the Edmonton Oilers, and one of the greatest dynasties of all sports. Just the top level talent that they had and all that kind of. They were the first, kind of, high level talent dynasty.
But again, do you remember
not baseball?
Right, exactly. But do you remember going through that next stage of preparation, which is that hope getting there? How many times people in 1997 or whatever like that, or 96, 95, whatever, these West Coast playoffs, stayed up till 4 a.m, listen to the game, then go to school? Or
those were my favorite, because that was my prime, when I was young, that was my prime years, where I would love the overtime games at Anaheim and stuff like that. Didn't like it so much in San Jose because they never seemed to work out. Sorry.
No, it eventually worked out. Yeah. Sometimes it takes some of us a few more tries, kicks at the cat, but we just persevered. Like I always say, no matter what, never quit.
Mike G wants to know, do they sell a game called Shovelers of Catan?
I mean, if the snowstorm's this bad, they might have to. Maybe it's like DLC to the new game.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
Sawyer closed the poll. How much would you pay to go to a Lions Super Bowl? 75% you said hell no. 17% of you said $5,000 to $10,000. 6% of you said over $10,000. Oh, sorry, that's cool, man. He posted the link to the Hour Detroit Best of Detroit voting. Best play-by-play broadcaster, our best sportscaster, and best sports reporter. So Terry Foster, best sports reporter, best sportscaster, me, or somebody else on that list if you like them better. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and pander for votes. I'm just gonna make you aware where
That's
you can go
Neil
to vote.
with the EA.
That's correct. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. He's got it. I think it was better when it was misspelled, dude. I get that.
Oh, I didn't fix it.
No, I get that. You understand. I'm like more stunned when somebody spells it right. For real. Like it's one of those names. It's weird. The I is whatever the I is. I don't understand it. But
isn't it I before E? So EI doesn't make sense in I before E except after C and sometimes Y. Never mind. That's why EA makes sense. Anyways.
No, I like it.
I'll take you down a trip.
Yes, you will. Red Wings, good win last night. You know why it was a good win? Because they took it to them and they dominated. They dominated every facet of the game, and then they ended up getting the win. Don't like that they gave up a point to do it, but in the end, they got the 2 points. And how about that finish, huh?
I mean, you gotta love it. I mean, we're watching right here, right now, and Jordan Oesterle with his first goal, being a hometown kid, and I remember that feeling. Right, I know exactly what it's like. If you watch it right here, it is an absolute snipe bomb. Being a kid that grew up watching the Wings, being like that, I scored my first goal in October of '93. Puck got outside the line. Sean Bird, the late Sean Bird, at Keith Primo over to me on a 2-on-1, top of the right circle, low glove on Bob Asenza, who would eventually be teammate later that year. It hits differently, right? Growing up, being a fan of the team, and having that accomplishment, just the same as the Wings. But I remember my first goal. Just, man, it's everything you say from listening on the radio, whether it was Bruce Martin. And, who did it before Ken? Bruce Martin, Paul Woods.
Yep.
Yeah, and or to Ken Cal, to whatever like this, but to listen and to become a reality. That's why I tell everybody, manifest your reality. I mean, the Oesterle goal was great and stuff like this, but did anybody see the Lindstrom hit? Because I got about 5 of my wrestling buddies hit me up and go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And if you hadn't seen it, it's, we mentioned Gustav Lindstrom previously I was tweeting with our friend Daniela Bruce, who keeps me up to date, because have you seen the stats? They got the WAR and the thing of public plays, all these things, all these cybermetrics, right? And cybermetrics that they have for hockey, and I had to relate or ask her what they meant. So after we take this break, I'm going to come back and let you in. But Gustav Lindstrom is sort of like the Jonah Jackson of the Detroit Red Wings, under the radar, but gets some pub throughout the league. So,
no, it was thunderous, to say the least. Hey, what's that feeling like, real quick, before we get to the last read? To put yourself in position of that guy that was getting hit, when you feel that skate getting under you, and you lost the leverage, and you got to
get under the board. You got to get against the boards. You can't get off the board. Like he didn't. It wasn't as bad. The thing that hurt him was that he got him about this far from the boards. So everything is watch when he tries to cut in, he's not strong enough. So what hurts is because. So what you need to do is know that you're not that strong, or he's got the strength on you. So you got to almost go to the board. So when he does hit you, you got the boards. Because that's when you get hurt. If you saw that replay, you're getting hit this far off the boards. That's when you're going to hit his head. Thank goodness he didn't hit his head. Great play, but that's strength. That's big Swede strength.
Like Big D energy.
Like Big D energy. Like my bookie.
Exactly like my bookie. The NFL playoffs, they're winding down right now, but you know what it is. About a week and a half from now, it is the Super Bowl. That's right, in L.A. You're going to get down on it anyway, guys. So do it with mybookie.ag. Right now, they'll double your first deposit up to $1,000. All you got to do is put that promo code Woodward in there, and boom, you are off and running. NBA, NHL, regular season actions going on right now. Maybe one day baseball will get their head out of their ass and they'll play and get everything figured out. But hey, we'll see. Probably not, because that's the way baseball rolls. But whatever. The majors are coming up. A lot of people betting golf these days too. And it is electric. You get pretty good odds, too, on pretty good players. So you get some value for your dollar. NASCAR out there. Sawyer will be using the promo code Woodward.
Oh, yeah. The Clash this weekend.
Hey, you bet NASCAR ever?
Actually, I've never bet in my life, but
I've
thought about it.
Promo code Woodward. Sawyer, double your first deposit.
Actually, can I? So tomorrow you want to tune in, because I'm giving Sawyer, because it'll be out Thursday, Friday, his Motorsport Minute, and we're going to talk about the odds board on my bookie for the NASCAR for any of you degenerates like myself that will be betting on it.
Promo code Woodward.
Yep, I'll remember that.
Mybookie.ag. Just put a couple shekels out on the race and
double your first deposit.
Tell me you're not even more locked into the race, or parlay a couple of top 10 finishers in there, get that payout.
You know what I'm going to do?
Okay.
I'm going to, you know what? We're going to put some money into a Big D Energy sort of race account and see what we can do.
I like that. I like that idea. And keep track of it and see how it goes. We should do that.
I'm going to put 100 in. I'm going to give you 100 to set up an account. You follow it.
Be like Sawyer's get right pick for NASCAR.
Right. You bet 5, 10, 20, whatever it is.
Yeah. I like it, man. We can do the Sawyer get right. See, the guys, there you go. We're getting content out of it. The Sawyer get right NASCAR pick brought to you by mybookie.ag. No, but seriously though, guys, promo code Woodward, double that first deposit. Super Bowl's coming. You're going to bet on it. Just do the smart and intelligent thing. Go to mybookie.ag. Very clean interface. Everything is very sleek. Moves very quickly. And that's just as important, or almost as important, as what you're betting on. So mybookie.ag. Promo code Woodward. Double that first deposit. Have a problem with gambling? Call the Gambling Problem Helpline. 1-800-270-7117. It's MyBookie.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house.
Hello?
Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Final segment of the show here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. You guys are the best, man. YouTube chat there. How about the Get Left pick of the week by Sawyer, his NASCAR picks? We're doing this.
No, the 4 left pick of the week.
Yeah,
right.
well,
4
whatever.
left, and then it'd be the left-right pick of the week for the road courses.
All right, how about this? Here's what we'll do. We'll do a show-wide kind of. We'll keep track of it too. We pick every NASCAR race. Pull the odds from my bookie. Everybody gets a theoretical $10 bet, and we keep track. Fair?
Yeah.
For lunch?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll do it that way.
You're
then.
gonna scare me off.
We'll cook up a cool graphic for it.
Oh yeah.
We'll let people wear it when you get it wrong, and then when you guys lose to me, you can feel shame and embarrassment.
I like it.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, there it is. That's exactly how we will do that. The Get Left pick of the week, I certainly do like this. Here's another thing I kind of liked, and we were talking about the whole Stafford dilemma and the Lions fans that like him and stuff like that. Chris Beard was the head coach at Texas Tech basketball. Got him to the national championship game, the Final Four, all that stuff. Very, very good coach. Left Texas Tech to go to Texas.
Did he get a bag?
And he got a big bag.
Okay.
Texas pulled up to Texas Tech for practice yesterday. Not the game. This is a non-game day. And the Texas Tech students were there to greet the Texas team bus. And they were not happy.
Wait. I see police lights. Is the police escort regular?
We're showing it right now on the YouTube channel. The students mobilized on the Texas team bus to let their feelings known to Chris Beard, who's sitting in the front seat watching this all unfold. I don't think that there's any Texas Tech fans that were, quote, hoping Chris Beard wins a championship or anything like that, Sawyer. I think they were making their feelings known.
No.
So this game's tonight.
Correct.
So you might want to find this game tonight to see how.
I believe it's a 9 o'clock ESPN game.
9 o'clock ESPN. How raucous this place will be. But Neil, does this happen? Does this happen a lot in college? I think it happens more in college than it does in pro, unless you're maybe European football.
So I was going to ask you the story of the most dastardly people that you ever rolled out with. We had ours when we played at Kansas one time. And I thought it was odd because when you go to Kansas, you get the police escort to the arena and all that stuff. And we pull up to the arena, and remember, we're Oakland, we're a mid-major team.
We're here for the check.
We're here for the check. You know, you talk about the bag all the time. If Coach Campy were sitting here on the show right now, I'd be like, yeah, we're here for the bag. And the Kansas fans, we pulled up, and there were the metal guardrails that were lined up for our kind of entrance into the arena. And the Kansas fans are out there too deep. Across the whole thing, just all over. You guys suck. Where even is Oakland? You guys are terrible. We're going to beat you by 100. I mean, but they were into it. And we were there for the check. And we're kind of looking around going, this is incredible. And then you get in the game and the whole arena's in their seats 30 minutes before. I mean, it is. If you're a college basketball dork,
go to Kansas.
Go to Kansas for a game. It is unbelievable. The people are right on top of you. It's incredible. I was stunned that they take it to that level, but they take it to that level.
Yeah.
How about you, D-Mac? Who's the worst one?
I don't remember. The greatest bus rides were always to the White House from the airport with the police escorts going 80 miles an hour through Washington. Those ones I remember, but I don't remember. You know, Chicago, some different places, because you usually bus right into the stadium, right? Into the arena underneath, so you don't see the fans. But the one that always gets me is there's a heckler in L.A., the L.A. Kings guy, and he sounds like Scott Farrell. Never stopped. Right now, you hammer me about alcohol, drugs, whatever like this. No big deal, whatever like this. But the funniest one is Steve Duchesne in 2002 played for LA and then came to us. And he's going down the bench to every guy because everybody, it doesn't matter if it's Stevie. And you sort of turn him out, but it's just because it's so abrasive, it gets annoying. That he turns and he goes, and Duchesne, you owe me $28 million, like this, saying I want it. And we all laughed and stuff like this. But here's the thing about a heckler in a crowd or whatever like this. If you don't think that we know or whatever, or be asked by our friends or people that are associated to remove these people or be dealt with these people, even on a more so deeper level to some of my friends that I have, yes, those situations do come up, but for the most part, as long as you're respectful and you don't cross the line and stuff. And this guy, I would say he crossed the line a lot of things, but it just got to one of these things that he was that guy. So
Trevor Brandt says, who the hell is Chris Beard? Some insight, please, Neil. Chris Beard was a head coach at Texas Tech, and he left Texas Tech.
After going to the Final Four.
Yeah, after taking him to the national championship game, and is now the coach at Texas because Shaka Smart.
So you shouldn't go from Texas Tech to Texas.
Yeah, the Texas Tech fans they're not wearing a half Texas Tech, half Texas Chris Beard jersey. They're not hoping for him to win a championship. Let's just say it like that. There was hatred in those people's eyes right
well,
there.
We didn't
man.
play, Sawyer played over that or whatever because there was so much vulgarity.
Yeah.
Like, it was unbelievable. And these guys are angry.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, got to bounce. I'll be out the rest of the week.
We'll see you next week, bro.
Yep, absolutely, man. Appreciate it. For Sawyer, for Sam, for my good buddy D-Mac. My name's Neil Rule. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.